Okay, so this is just going to be a quick tutorial on how to tune the Sarangi once you get it. The way that the sympathetic strings are tuned are based off of whatever Western scale note you're going to use for your saw. The way that I was taught how to tune the Sarangi is to have the three main strings, D, A, and then D again. And so I learned how to do two scales, the female and the male scale. The female starts here with your saw as the A, and the male scale starts here with your saw as the D. And I was told to always tune to the male scale. So all of our sympathetic strings up here and along the sides are going to be based off of your saw as D. You'll see I broke a few strings tuning it. I haven't restrung them yet, but I'll try to maybe do another video on replacing broken strings. So one of the things you'll have is a tool called, I think it's called a Naka, N-A-K-A, I think it's how it's spelled. And this is, you can see it's shaped to fit the pegs. So I'll show you the tuning chart. And this shows where all of your where all of the pegs are and what notes to use. So for the, we'll start at the top, and I won't do the whole thing, but just show you, one by one. You'll take this from the top to the bottom from the list. It goes from the small, you can just see there. But we'll be starting here with this string, which is the, would be knee. And so if your saw is D, your knee should be C sharp. So I usually just take the tuner and I attach it to the big pegs. Make sure I'm there. And I take my tool and just give the string wherever it lines up a nice pluck. So that's C instead of C sharp. So you just go and put it on so it tightens just a little bit. And then give it another pluck. Still too low. A little bit too high, but I usually leave mine a little bit high because I noticed after a minute or two it just kind of loosens up a little bit. That's what I do. And then you just go on for all the strings. So this would be knee, sa, which would be D, re, which should be E, ga, which should be let's see, F sharp, and then the missing string, which I'd have to put on again, would be sorry, for some reason my sheet says saw again. Yeah, so you'd go back to just the different octave of D. Then you go on and you do the same here, working your way out. And then the next strings that you'd move to, you take your tuner, flip it over to its side here. You'll see there's really kind of two sets of the side pegs. You have these up here, and then you have these at the bottom. The top ones correspond with the sympathetic strings that you have on the side here, whereas the bottom 2 rows correspond with the sympathetic strings you have all the way under here. So it's the same thing as the top sympathetic strings. You just follow the sargam. However, the thing to look out for here is when you're tuning the top ones, you know, they're easy. It's just straight across. You start with re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, re, and then ga. These are the higher octave gas. Down here, you don't tune straight across. You jig-jag from top to bottom. So it'd be sa, re komal, re, ga komal, ga, ma tiver, pa, da komal, da, ni komal, ni, sa, the higher octave re komal, and then higher octave re again. I've broken a couple strings because when you're trying to tune it and, you know, you just kind of, I don't know, I get mixed up and confused and I tightened the wrong string and broke one. The tricky thing here is trying to pin down and get underneath it correctly, depending on size of your finger or how long your nails are. It might be easier to go underneath this way or this way, and then you kind of have to change it when you go down. That's the tricky part there, and that's the sympathetic strings I get lazy at tuning the most. So I'll just show you quickly this one. So re, I think I have as E. So I'll just start at this top one. Just put it onto the side. Just make sure you're in your peg correctly, on the correct peg. And when I'm tuning on this side, I usually take the tuner and I stick it at the bottom here. I find I can get the sound overall pretty good. So you just go and you pluck. And then you just stick it in. Make sure you're in. A little tight. There you go.